Hi everybody, welcome to my channel. My name is Kate, and on here we get to become the best version of ourselves together. So today we are going to be talking about self-love and just some tips and tricks that I have for you guys if you're on your journey or you're just starting your journey, and some things that I've learned along the way in my own personal journey. So I'm so excited to share this with you and just to be a part of this. So without further ado, let's get right into the video. If you like this video, definitely like, share, and subscribe, and follow me on Instagram, Kate Ozabek. So I started my spiritual journey December of 2020. So it's now June of 2022. So a year and a half now. And I will say this has been the absolute most beautiful journey and the most beautiful thing I have ever done in my life. And the journey never stops, right? We always have new things to grow through. We always have new things to achieve, new goals to set. So we always get to learn new things about ourselves. So that is the most beautiful part about this journey, is it's just that, a journey. It's not a destination. It's not an endpoint. You get to continue to evolve and continue to grow into the best version of yourself. And I always thought, like, at the start, like, okay, once I overcome this, I'll be healed and I'll be good. And it's new level is new devils, right? But the devils are just learning moments. We get to become better. But those devils are not devils. I don't like to say the word devils. It's just challenges that we get to go through. It's just challenges that our soul needs to be the best version of ourselves. So I always look at challenges as a blessing. And that's my first tip, is everything that we go through is really for our benefit, and it's to make us better. And the quicker that we can have perspective shifts about it, the quicker we can get the lesson out of it, and we can move forward and feel good about it. Everything in our life is always happening for us and is never happening to us. When you think about things happening, like, why is this always happening to me, or it's always me, like, that has a negative energy behind it, right? And if we're focusing on growth, if we're focusing on being the best version of ourselves, we want to focus on the positive. We want to focus on, how is this working for me? And in my experience, every single thing that I've been through is either here for a lesson, or for a blessing. And those lessons I'm always so grateful for, because it's like, okay, what are you showing me that I get to work on so I can become better? And when I work on this and when I work through it, I'm going to be a better version of myself. I'm going to grow. I'm going to be closer to the next level or to the next goal that I'm after. So everything in your life, just know, is always happening for you, never to you. And those little perspective shifts make such a big difference. Like, whenever something comes into my life and I'm just like, what is this? I take a step back, I analyze it, and I'm like, okay, what are you here to teach me? What can I learn from this? How can I choose to grow? Instead of being in my old habits, like, whenever stuff would happen and I would be like, what the fuck is this? Like, what? Instead of having that mindset, like, okay, universe, what do you want me to learn? What do you want me to know? The first thing I started doing when I started my self-love journey was affirmations. I was in the lowest place in my life, and I, like, had no self-love, no self-confidence, no self-worth, nothing. So I just needed something, right? Like, I had to start somewhere. You just have to start. Like, it doesn't matter what it looks like. It doesn't matter if you don't know what it's going to look like or how it's going to turn out. You just have to start, right? And then you're going to be guided along the way in what's for you. So the first place that I started was affirmations and listening to personal development. So in my affirmations, I would fill a whole journal. I had this journal. It was pink and orange, and I still remember that journal. But every single line, it was an I am statement. I am worthy. I am beautiful. I am successful. I am... And I would just go on and on and on. And every single day, writing these affirmations. And when you start, you're not going to believe them, right? Like, you don't just write it on a paper and it's like, okay, I unlocked it. I have self-worth now. I have self-love now. Like, that's not how it works. It's a journey, right? So every single day, you build up a little bit more confidence. And the more you start to tell yourself something, the more you start to believe it. Same with positive and negative. So it's so important to be mindful of the things that we're saying to ourselves and to really have kindness to ourselves. I always say, whenever I'm going through something, if this was my best friend who I love with my whole entire heart, what would I say to her? And then say that to myself, right? Because you don't want to be mean to your friend. You want to love them. You want to support them. we deserve the same thing. Like, why would we not give the same treatment to our best friend to ourselves? So having that compassion and that love makes such a big difference. And sometimes it takes a moment to step back. Sometimes you don't believe it. Sometimes it's like, okay, but that's my friend and this is me. But you deserve the utmost love. So holding that compassion for yourself, it slowly starts to change things in your mind. And you get to choose how you respond to things. You get to choose how you feel to things. And sometimes, like, something doesn't happen and the first time you're instantly happy about it. You're instantly grateful. Like, this is a process. You get to train your brain in it. It's like school, you know, you have to practice things, you have to learn things over and over and over again, and then one day you just wake up and you can do it like that. It's the same thing with ourselves. Like, the more we do something, the more repetition we put on something, the more our mind responds to it and the more our mind grasps it. And having awareness is so important in this journey, because if you don't have awareness for the things standing in your way, if you don't have awareness of when you're having limiting beliefs, and all of these things, like, if you don't have awareness, then how do you know what to work on? How do you know what to fix? So start paying attention to the talk inside your head. Start paying attention to what your body feels around certain people. Start paying attention to when you get in certain situations, and catch those moments when you put out to the universe, like, okay, I'm asking for awareness, and you focus on something. So let's say it's like, I want to focus on having awareness for my negative thoughts. And you put that out there. Speak it out into the universe, and when you speak it out there, it's going to bring it back to you. So when you start having awareness, or when you start focusing on having awareness for those negative thoughts, you're going to start catching yourself in the day. Like, we're all human. None of us are perfect. Like, we're going to have negative thoughts. We're going to experience those things. Like, we've got our whole life been conditioned a certain way, and to now come and try to undo that, it takes work, right? Like, it's like, I'm 22, so I have 22 years of this way of thinking, so it's not going to happen overnight. Like, this is a process I get to work through, and I get to keep working at it, because I don't just get to wake up one day and all my negative thoughts are gone. Like, no matter how far I get in my journey, I'm still going to experience those, because I'm human, right? We're all human, and having that compassion for ourselves, like, this is just a moment. Back to the awareness, when you put that out there, like, okay, you can start recognizing them. And when you realize, like, this is a negative thought, I don't want to feel like this, you get to change that in that moment. Stop what you're doing. Cancel, delete. I love saying that. Whenever I have a thought, I'll be like, cancel, delete. How can I shift this to being positive? And watch what it does to your energy and to your body. Because when you start thinking those negative things, like, your energy gets thrown off. So, like, of course, we all want to be happy. We all want to feel good. So being able to switch that into a positive way of thinking switches your whole energy. And this is repetition. Like, you get to keep working at this, and you get to keep doing it over and over and over and over again. And one day it's going to be less, and it's going to be less, and it's going to be less. And that is, like, the best part. And, like, you get to be able to look back, like, wow, a month ago all of my thoughts were negative, and now only 80% of them are negative. And you get to keep growing, and you get to keep progressing in that. It's not an easy journey. Like, self-love journey, spiritual journeys, like, it's not just happy all the time. Like, you really have to work through some shit, but when you work through it and you release it from you, like, we all go through shit, right? Like, we've all been through shit. We've all heard people say mean things to us. We've all been through hurtful situations that we want to look back and be like, wow, I wish I would have never gone through that. But those experiences are what makes us today. Those experiences is what makes you who you are, and you get to decide how you handle that. We can't control everything that happened to us. You know, some things are out of our control, but we get to choose how we deal with them. We get to choose how we look at them. We get to choose how we interpret them. And instead of thinking like, wow, I wish that would have never happened to me, or fuck them for doing that to me, we get to work through that. Because when we hold all of that in, it's not hurting the person that did it to us. It's hurting us. And forgiveness is never for the other person, but it's always for you. When you can forgive somebody, you get to free yourself from them. One thing I started doing on my journey is I started going back into my past and realizing what is hurting me, what I'm holding on to, and what my triggers are. To this day, I'm still constantly learning triggers that I have, or things in my past that I didn't remember that I'm still holding on to and that are hurting me. So one thing I love to do is journal. Like, journal out my feelings. Like, we have to physically get them out of our body, or else they're stuck and they're blocking our energy. So one thing that I did when I started my journey is I thought about every single person who had hurt me, and I wrote them a letter. I didn't give them the letter. Like, the letter was for me, not for them. But I wrote a letter, I journaled about it, I got everything out like I was talking to them, and I ripped it up, I burned it, and I got rid of it. And it was like, okay, I'm choosing to let this go so I can be free, so I can experience more joy. When you clear out the negativity, you're just making more room for love and more room for joy in your heart. This process isn't easy, you know, like some people I literally had to have conversations with, and sometimes you have to give people their shit back. And as long as you do it in love and in good intentions, and you come from a place of this is not to hurt you, you can go on with your life and be like, okay. In this journey, you really get to learn who you are. You get to discover who you are, and the most beautiful part about it is you get to decide what that person looks like. If there's something about you that you're like, wow, I wish I could change this, you have the power to change this. Like, or you have the power to change that. We are such powerful people, and we don't even give ourselves enough credit for how powerful we are. Start journaling. Like, who do I want to be? What makes me me? And you get to do different things. You get to try different activities. You get to go on this whole experiential journey of who am I? I just learned like so much about myself, and I've gotten to recreate myself for who I want to be. I always think about, like, in the future, what kind of woman do I want to show up as? What kind of woman do I want to be in this world? What kind of friend do I want to be? What kind of wife do I want to be one day? What kind of mom do I want to be one day? What kind of businesswoman do I want to be? And I try to start embodying those qualities now. Like, I don't want to wait till then, because then it's not going to happen if I don't start somewhere. So really get clear on who you want to be, and try and start embodying those qualities. And start, you can start small. You can start focusing on one. Like, how does that person dress? How does that person talk? What is their daily life like? And start implementing those little things into your life, and watch the difference it's going to make for you. Like, when you becoming that woman is literally just that. You get to become that person, and by becoming, you just step into that. You get to start doing the things that you've always wanted to do. Like, what's a hobby that you have that you've neglected for so long? Like, you get to go through all of these things and figure out like what makes you happy. And through this whole process, like, as you start to grow and as you start to become this version of yourself and really tap into who you are, certain things that are not meant for you are just gonna fall away. Whether that's people, whether that's things, whether that's places. And having the space, like, this served me at this time of my life, but it might not serve me here. And just being grateful. I'm so grateful for the people that aren't in my life anymore, because they all taught me something. And just being okay with it. Like, sometimes it's sad, sometimes it's hard. You're like, wow, I wanted you in my life forever, or I thought this was supposed to be my future or my forever. And it's not, and it's okay, because now as you start to raise your vibration within, you attract at your level. So you're going to start attracting the things that are meant for you. You're going to start aligning with who you're meant to be. You're going to start aligning with the people that are meant to be in your life, the things that are meant to be in your life, the places that are meant to be in your life. This takes so much consistency. Like, this is not just a wake up overnight and your life is so much better. Like, this is every single day I get to strive to be the best version of myself. Every single day I get to be 1% better. Every single day I get to be more and more like the woman that I want to be. You're consistent. 6 months from now, you're going to look back and be like, wow, I am such a different person. Like, I am so much more aligned to my higher self than before. And you get to watch that growth. Like, every single day you don't really get to see the growth, but when you can look back and be like, wow, 6 months ago or last week, even last week, like, growth can happen so fast, and it can happen at the speed that you choose it happens. But you get to look back and be like, wow, before I probably would have cussed this person out. Now I'm like sending them love, and now I'm just being like, okay. And in those little moments, you get to catch yourself in and be like, wow, look how far I've come. And you get to keep doing this and keep doing this and keep doing this. And one day you're going to wake up and be like, wow, how did I even get here? 2 years ago, you could never tell me that I would be right here today. Like, my life was so different. I was in such a different place mentally, physically, emotionally, like, in every aspect. Like, if you told me I would be here, I'd be like, you are literally fucking crazy. But the power we have is so incredible, and we are the only thing that can stop us. Get clear on who you want to be and say, you know what, no matter what it takes, nothing is going to stop me. And of course there's going to be bumps in the road, but when you can look at those like, what's my lesson here? How can I grow through this? How can I use this experience to become better? And you just keep going through that, and you start telling the universe, you start putting it out there, like, what is it I want? You release it, you put it out there, and you wait for it to come back to you. Like, manifestation is so real. Like, put out what you want. Let the universe know. Speak it. Every single day, speak it, and just be okay with however it comes. Sometimes it's not going to come back in the way that we expect it to, but that's not up for us to decide. Let the universe take care of that for you. All you have to do is be clear on what you want, be specific, and know, you know what? The universe is here to serve me. The universe is working for me, so I trust that it's going to come back to me. And these little manifestations make such a big difference. Like, start small. Like, manifest $5 or manifest a smile from a stranger, something like that, and watch it happen for you. Throughout this journey, make sure you're holding so much love and compassion for yourself. Like, this, to even take on a journey like this is so incredible, and it's not easy, right? So like, in these moments when you're like, fuck it, I just want to give up, fuck it, I just, whatever, just hold so much love and compassion for yourself for even deciding, you know what, I want better. Like, that takes so much strength and so much courage to even decide to grow in your life. Thank you all so much for watching, and again, if you like this, make sure you like, share, and subscribe, and thank you so much for tuning in, and I will see you guys in the next video.